All right, let's take a look at the second problem, see if there are any tricks to this one. Just like before, we're going to just start by identifying our a, b, and c value because it's already equal to 0. Now we know we have to use the quadratic formula because we've never been able to factor with anything like a 4 out front. And so this looks like it's going to be the fastest way. So I'm going to just highlight the a value, which is 4, the b value, which also in this case is going to be a 4. These are both positives, notice. And then we have the c value, but the c value is going to be negative. And so make sure that you get that negative sign in. Remember the a, b, and c values are always just the coefficients or the numbers in front of the b squareds, the b's. And so the a is just the 4, it's not 4b squared. And so now that we have the a, b, and c, we can plug it into our quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. So let's just start. Now, again, that this is a b, let's see, instead of writing x equals, we'll write b equals. Opposite of our b term. So our b term is a positive 4, so the opposite of a positive 4 is going to be a negative 4. So negative 4 plus or minus, because that's what comes after the negative b, plus or minus. Now the square root sign is next, so we're just going in order. And inside the square root, the first thing is our b value to the second power. So remember, our b value is the 4. And so if I thought about what 4 to the second power is, that's just 4. And then you got two ways to do the second power. You could just hit the x squared, that's 4 to the second. 4 times 4 is 16. So in here, b to the second would be 16 minus, remember that's a minus sign, 4 times the a value times the c value. So I put parentheses in for multiplication, and in the first parenthesis is going to be the a value, in the second parenthesis will be the c value. So the a value is 4, and the c value is negative 63, all divided by 2 times a. Our a value is 4, so if I did 2 times 4, that's going to be 8, just like it was on number 1. And now we can start to plug stuff into our calculator. The first thing that we'd want to plug in our calculator, at least the easiest way to do it, I think, is just to plug inside the square root. And so if we're going to do inside the square root, we're going to type in that 16 minus 4. If you want to use parentheses for multiplication, you can, or you could use the times symbol. Times 4 times negative 63. And we're going to hit enter. And that, inside the square root, there's going to be 1,024. Again, don't be scared if you get really big numbers. But inside the square root now, we're going to put 1,024. And so we're just going to rewrite this. Our b is equal to negative 4 plus or minus. Again, I'm just copying that down. So b equal, negative 4, plus minus, square root. But instead of typing all of this in, now that we typed it in our calculator, we're just going to type in the answer, which was 1,024, all divided by 8. At this point, we can just type in the top part of the equation divided by 8, and then type in the top part again with the negative sign divided by 8, and we're done. So we're going to get a little bit quicker at doing these as we get more practice. So this one's going to be negative 4 plus the square root of 1,076. And if you're not, or 1,024, I'm sorry, 1,024. If you're not sure I'm getting that square root is coming from hitting the second button. And you notice it says second at the bottom of the calculator. And then you hit the x squared button. So you just hit second, then x squared, that's where the square root comes from. And then the number was 1,024. And I'm going to hit enter here, and this is where we got to make sure we hit enter. And then the answer is not just 28, because we still have one more step. We just did the top part. We still have to divide by 8. So you can just hit the divide by button now by 8, and it'll tell you what that answer was divided by 8, and it was 3.5. So one of my answers is 3.5. And to get the other answer, now I'm going to do negative 4 minus. So I'll just do the same thing. Again, I'm going to hit the up arrow to just go back to the plus. I'm going to hit the minus sign. Again, that's not my final answer. I still have to divide it by 8. So I'm going to take that and divide it by 8. And I get negative 4.5. So it looks like this one I get 3.5 and negative 4.5 for my two possible solutions. And then just to make sure we did it right, let's just go to the back and double check that those are indeed the answers. And they are. So we're good to go.